What's going on, everybody? It's ETAPRIME back here again. Today we're going to be testing out Fallout 4 with the new, air quotes, next-gen update on the ROG Ally. Bethesda is calling this a next-gen update, and really a lot of those new updates do apply to Xbox and PlayStation, given that they've got some more graphics options there, but we've got a lot of bug fixes, supposedly some new graphics options for PC. But in this video, I was really interested to see how this new update runs on the Ally. And recently on the channel, we took a look at it running on the Steam Deck. Now, there are a few bugs over there, like the frame rate not really being at the frame rate when you're set to 60 on the OLED. It's actually running at 30. And I think 90 Hertz is actually running at 60. But either way, that's how I've been playing it. It's actually a really nice experience on the OLED Steam Deck. But obviously, in this video, we're checking it out on the Ally. And this is the higher-end Ally with the AMD Ryzen Z1 Extreme. I'm going to start out at 15 watts, 720p, medium settings, and see what this thing does. Another thing we're going to be testing out in this video is docked mode performance, because we can always plug this in, get a little more out of the Ally. But on battery, wanted to keep it kind of low here, just to see what it would do. Okay, again, starting out here, 720p, we're at a 15 watt TDP and a true 15 watt TDP using manual mode. I've also got CPU boost turned off. The Z1 Extreme will go up to 3.3 gigahertz without any boost, and it can definitely save on battery and also give us higher clocks on the CPU, but in some cases it hurts, some cases it helps. We'll see how it works with Fallout 4. And I've been doing a little bit of testing here on the Z1 Extreme with this game. I actually expected it to run a lot better than it does with this new update, and I'd say CPU boost is going to help out with this one. Just going to keep that frame rate up. I thought, at medium settings, 720p, we could be up in the 90s. And there's no doubt, if we took this into turbo mode, we're going to get those higher clocks than the CPU and GPU. We could be up in the 90s. And we've got a 120 hertz display here. But even at 15 watt, 720p medium, we've got some major dips going on. So the one thing I like to do with the ROG Ally is run this at a continuous 18 watts. So a true 18 watt TDP. That's what we're going to go with here. And taking the settings down to low would definitely help out at those lower wattages. But at 18 watts, 720p, medium, it's not too bad. And I am using an uncapped frame rate here. As you can see, we are going over 60 with it. And yeah, I mean, when there's lots of particles and characters on screen, you can see even at 18 watts, we did have that dip under 60. It's not horrible, but it is definitely noticeable. Even if the frame counter in the top left-hand corner was off, that's something I'd probably notice. But as you can see, it does jump right back up. But let's launch a nuke and see if this thing drops all the way down. Yeah, it actually held pretty steady there. So what I'm looking at right now is on the ROG Ally, medium settings, 720p, 18 watt TDP. We're looking at an average of around 71 FPS with this game. And with the way I have it set up right now, we're going to get some decent battery life. Got some pretty good performance here with the game, but it's nowhere near the battery life that the Steam Deck OLED can get. And with that OLED, it only goes up to 15 watts. We're at a steady 60 across the board with this game on that unit, and it's just amazing what that thing can do. But as a lot of you may know, we can actually get a lot more out of the Ally by upping that TDP. And one way I like doing this is just kind of going into dock mode with it. That way we don't have to worry about battery life or anything like that. And I want to see what this thing can do maxed out in dock mode. So let's move over there now. Alright, so I've got this plugged into my game capture. We're also plugged into power. And once we're plugged into sufficient power, like the included charger here, 65 watt PD charger, we can actually take this into manual mode and go up to 30 watts on the SPL, 43 on the SPPT, and 53 on the FPPT. Now with it set up like this, I'm usually around 42 watts continuously on this device. And we're actually going to run Fallout 4 at 1080p, medium settings, and we'll see what this thing does now. And what I'm really going for is a steady 60 FPS at 1080 medium settings. So far, not looking too bad. And I do have turbo boost on. If you take a look at Afterburner, you can see, yeah, it is definitely boosting that CPU up. So with a game like this at these higher resolutions, those higher clocks on the CPU can really help. Quick nuke test, those explosions can really take a toll on these iGPUs. And right after that, just kind of swinging around, got that dip down to 58. But so far, it's holding pretty steady here at 1080p medium. got that higher TDP going. We do not have to worry about battery life right now because we're plugged into wall power. And on battery with the Ally, you can take the TDP up to 25 watts, but you're not going to get much battery life out of it. It'll really help out with a game like this, especially if you wanted to go to, let's say, 900p on battery. But it looks like, at those lower wattages, again, Steam Deck is really coming ahead of the Ally when it comes to that low power consumption gameplay. And that's really one of the main features of the Steam Deck. I've been playing it quite a bit on there, but I gotta say, going from that 800p over there over to 1080 on a big screen, medium settings, this does look really, really good. Now, we didn't go up to high or ultra, but I'm not complaining about the graphics here. So with this test, we tried to lock it at 1080p, 60 FPS, but what if we take that resolution down and uncap the frame rate? So now we're at 900p medium settings, and this really does help out. Of course, we're still in dock mode, so we've got that much higher TDP, but as you can see, we're now averaging around 83 FPS with this game, and out in the wasteland, in the wide open, this does jump up to around 110 FPS. We've just got a lot of stuff going on around us right now. Explosions, tons of characters on screen, we're not dropping under 60 at 900p. The new so-called next-gen update does run quite well on the ROG Ally, but going into this, I figured we were going to get a nice boost in performance here, especially at these higher TDPs, but we're still working with an iGPU, and that's something we definitely got to keep in mind. I gotta say, over the years, Fallout 4 has been one of my favorite games. I did pick it up on release day. I actually got this for Xbox, went through it, then bought it on PC later on down the road. Having a new update now, 8-9 years later, is really awesome, but there's still one Fallout game that I personally love over all of the rest so far, and that's Fallout New Vegas. Of course, it's an older one, but I still wanted to test it out because there are a lot of people going back to the Fallout games. A new interest has kind of been revived with the show releasing on Amazon, and New Vegas is definitely one you need to play if you haven't. Also, really big fan of Fallout 3, but when this came out, this was one I spent hours and hours and hours playing. And even at 15 watts, this game at high settings, 1080p, does run really well on the ROG Ally. Right now, we're at 1080p, totally maxed out, as much as we can get the graphics going without any mods installed, and we can run over 60. Even in very populated areas, lots of explosions going on, particle effects, this doesn't drop under 60. Now, I've seen it go as low as around 61, and I actually thought I had this uncapped, but I'm pretty sure we're capped right there at 64, 65 FPS for some reason. Need to go back and check out my INI config file. But yeah, if you wanted to play the older Fallout games on the Ally, or even the Steam Deck, you're going to have a really good time with them. But that's going to wrap it up for this one. I really appreciate you watching. And if you've been playing Fallout 4 with some mods installed, like some performance mods, and you get it to run better on the Ally at lower TDPs, I know that there were a lot of community performance fixes, and with this new update, some of those are broken right now. But if you do run across some new ones that really help out, let us know, because I'd like to install them and get this running at 120 on this. Even at 720p would be really, really nice. If you've got any questions, let us know in the comments below. And like always, thanks for watching.